Hi friendies, thank you for clicking on this video. Today we're gonna talk about my shopping addiction. So starting with my no buy year, I have to say that I have a special system which is called reverse 2 out 1 in, and basically I counted almost everything that came into my collection last year, makeup and beauty wise, and I still haven't finished the counting completely, but so far I have counted 2060 something products. Therefore, for my system, in order to be able to buy something new, I need to finish twice as much as came into my collection, which would be, with current calculations, about 500 products, and even more, especially since I haven't finished the counting, as there were some orders that had makeup as well as accessories and random things. But generally, the number of desired empties should be from 500 to 600, and therefore the system transforms the low buy into a no buy, as it's pretty hard to finish that amount of empties within a year. For reference, last year I finished, I think, 170 empties, something around that. But yeah, and I'm gonna buy replacements for some categories, but those purchases will still go into the system and increase the number of the purchased products, and therefore increase the number of the desired empties. And I realized that I have never talked about the categories that I'm doing the no buy situation for, and I'm gonna talk about them now. So the first category is makeup and beauty. I have a giant collection of makeup and a giant stash of different beauty products. So in those no buy beauty section, I include skincare, body care, perfumes, hair care, everything of that nature. And generally I have a stash for everything, and the only things that I'm gonna repurchase, the only things that I'm gonna need replacements for, are hair care products like masks or hair conditioners, as I go through these very quickly. I have like long problematic dry hair, so it needs a lot of care like that. And through shampoos I go slower, but still there will be possibility that I will run out of shampoo and will repurchase some. So the next category I'm going to talk about is actually books. That sounds a bit unusual, but I have noted some hoarding and purchasing tendencies in the book section as well. Basically, I like to buy books, and that needs to stop, because first of all, I already have a lot of unread books at home. I have Chuck Palahniuk book that I need to finish. I have not finished Margaret Atwood The Handmaid's Tale, which has like a half left. I have John Steinbeck Grapes of Wraith to finish, which I haven't started at all. I have a lot of books by the author Iris Murdoch who I really want to read, and so on and so forth. Those are not the only books that I haven't read from my collection. And the next thing is that I actually love listening to audiobooks, so I listen to quite a lot of audiobooks, and I also count that as reading, of course, so that's the next point. And also I'm an avid library goer. I love libraries. I love the idea. The library that I go to has a pretty decent choice, and it has books in both Russian and English. which I really like, and library is an amazing way to encounter new things and new books without being consumeristic. So therefore, I will not be buying books for the year because of all the points that I have listed. I like buying books, I like books, but basically the forests are destroyed for books. It harms our environment. The books are made of paper, duh, and I just don't want to be the consumers that I am. That's why I'm doing the whole thing. And the next category that I'm not buying this year is homeware. I noticed I like buying different homeware stuff like mugs and like kitchen towels and plates and everything, but at this point of life I have absolutely enough of that. I don't need any of that anymore, no matter how cute it seems, or if it's in a dollar store, if it's just $1, if it's cheap, I still don't need it. And I'm limiting myself absolutely in this category as well. So those are the categories I'm not buying things from. And now I'm gonna talk a bit about my shopping addiction and my makeup shopping addiction in general, or more like my makeup addiction specifically. So I have to say I always liked makeup since like school, and like at primary school I had like cool little lip glosses and whatnot. Yeah, and I was buying makeup when a kid. I had my first eyeshadow palette when I was like 12 or 13, or maybe, yeah, I think like 13. But basically I did not have money as a kid for those types of things as much as I wanted, so I never had a hoarding tendencies before I got my first job. Even in university, when I had like my money from occasional jobs or from like the motivational scholarship thing they do here monthly for the kids who finish the term without any bad grades, which was not always the case for me. I did have some C's and whatnot, but basically then when I had money I did buy different beauty and makeup related stuff, but that did not develop into hoarding because the resources and the money were limited. But I have to say, for all my teen years and whatnot, I had this weird tendency for buying a lot of shower gels and body creams, and I had like 20 or 25 shower gels at some point, and I'm still like working on them right now. But slowly that addiction towards beauty and body care shifted towards makeup completely, and the whole big drama started when I got my first full-time job after I graduated. And previously I never had a bank card, like a debit or credit card. I always had cash. Yes, but when I got my first job, that was the first time I got a bank card, and what that meant for me is that finally I could start ordering things from abroad. As always, nothing recorded, so I'm doing this video for the third time, but I had orders from Shop Marseille. I had like 10 orders in total, counting all these years. All of the orders were like $80-$60, and that's an online dollar store, so you can get the amount of the products I was actually buying, even though I do include the price of shipping. I had Colourpop orders, Zoeva order, beauty joint, beauty bay orders, look fantastic, feel unique, BH Cosmetics and whatnot, and that just kept building and building my collection. And what's really funny and sad at the same time is that even when I started project planning and after, when I already knew how much time it actually takes to hit pan on a product or to finish a product, I still continued buying things and doing those orders and even building my collection more and more and adding things to it. And another things I want to mention is that I actually traveled a lot. I love traveling, and every time I traveled I continued buying things that weren't necessarily available in my country, so I did not hold myself accountable again. I just kept adding and adding products to my collection, thinking that when I'm home I will use them and they will bring me back to the time that I had traveling. And it's just crazy, honestly. Yeah, basically I just kept doing that, and I reached a point where I don't have any more storage space, and my collection is overwhelming and way out of the place. All my drawers are full, my desk is covered in makeup, everything is covered in makeup. And another thing I encountered is that I kept buying and buying things, but I had a ton of products in my collection that I have never used, never tried once. So I came out with this usage tracking system. Originally all of those points, all of those things were products I've never tried, and the goal is to try that thing from your collection for 10 times. And I have a lot of pages for this, just like I have been doing this for maybe 6 months, and I plan to continue doing it for the rest of the year. And I plan to have every square filled up till the end of the year. I do have some already, like for example you can see this too. And this system helps me a lot, and it actually is very satisfying to do some type of bullet journaling and write things down with pens and color pens and fill things up, fill things down. Very satisfying and calming in my experience. And what else do I have to say about consumerism and shopping addiction? I can say that we as a society, as a modern society, we're actually used to consumeristic state of mind as opposed to minimalism, as all those thoughts are engraved in our mind that we need to have more things. The more things we have, the better we are, the better we will feel, and all those corporations benefit and enforce that state of mind and impose it on us. And what happens with beauty and makeup companies is that they actually don't really sell us the product. They actually sell us the idea is that when we buy this product, we're actually buying a new life for us. Suddenly, if we get this, we will be more popular, more attractive. People will like us more out of a sudden. We will be craved and lusted and famous. You can just continue with the list. Also, as a society, we're actually used to base people's value on things. People judge other people on their clothes, their shoes, their bags, their car, their house, their furniture, whatnot. That's very toxic, but a lot of people are very materialistic, but my point is that you can actually create all the looks that you want with the makeup that you already have, as opposed to buying more and more, especially if you're buying it for the fantasy self, as Hannah Louise Poston would say, who is also a YouTuber who did a no-buy year last year. But yeah, basically the whole consumerist state of mind benefits the corporations that are trying to sell us stuff and get rich on our expense. And because of that, we just need to be more conscious. We need to understand that the more we buy actually is the worst for us, because we support fast fashion, fast makeup, we support the we support mindset of disposable things, which really harms our environment and the planet. We need to focus more on enjoying what we already have and try to buy as less as possible, and you can just use the money on making memories, on having fun, on experiences, on having quality time with your family, on traveling, on going to concerts and movies and events and whatnot. Yeah, I think maybe the last part of the video was pretty basic and I was just stating the obvious, but I think I did share my personal experiences with shopping addiction and makeup usage and tracking, so hopefully that can be useful for someone. But thank you very much for watching, and hopefully we'll see you in my next video. Bye bye.